But I wanted to share this with you so that firstly you know that I've experienced this firsthand, and secondly so that it gives you hope. So first of all, I want to say, if you're someone that's suffering with severe anxiety at the moment, I'm really sorry that you're having to go through that. Suffice to say, it's not pleasant and no one wants to be in that place. Before I got chronically ill, I hadn't experienced anything to do with anxiety. But when I'd got to my worst, I'll keep it short, there was a period where I was bedbound for 2 months. And I basically didn't know the line of where my body and my mind was. And I was pretty much lying there, not able to look at a screen, not able to do anything. And I thought I was losing my mind. And I was scared to even sit up. I thought it would use up too much energy and my body would just close down. So I've been to the lowest places. And it's horrific. It's terrible. But I wanted to share this with you so that firstly you know that I've experienced this firsthand, and secondly so that it gives you hope. You can see the things that I did, not only to just overcome the anxiety, but to also completely turn it around 180 degrees and develop a really calm and peaceful mind. So you want to realize that anxiety is not your enemy. It is your brain, your body, it's its way of responding and trying to protect you from a perceived threat or danger, whether that be real or not. People use a classic example of being chased by a tiger. You would want to feel anxious then so that you can escape the danger. But when we have chronic anxiety, the threat is only something that is perceived, it's not a reality. And nevertheless, the brain is still trying to protect you from that because it sees it as a threat. One thing you want to know is that the thoughts that you experience aren't actually the problem. You can't control what thoughts come in, and you're not going to overcome your thoughts by trying to push them away. The goal is to reduce the emotional attachment to those thoughts, where those same thoughts can come in like before, but you don't feel that anxious attachment to the thoughts, or that anxious attachment is severely reduced and you can get on with living a normal life and a happy life. As uncomfortable and unpleasant as the emotions are that are attached to these thoughts, you have to realize that they are just emotions, even though they are so real to you right now, like they were so real to me as well. They are just emotions and they're not going to hurt you. They might make you feel terribly depressed, anxious, out of control, but they're not going to hurt you. And when you can get into that mindset and allow them to just be there, that's when they're going to start to lose their power over you. Because it's only when you engage them and you push against them and you say, I need to change this now, I can't feel this now. You're actually focusing more on that emotion and you're fueling it and you're getting yourself in this cycle that you're trying to escape and you just cannot escape. Like, one of the things is you're not going to overcome anxiety by trying to overcome anxiety. It's like me saying to you, don't think of a pink elephant. And as soon as I say that, you think of a pink elephant. And if you're trying to not think of a pink elephant, by trying to not think of a pink elephant, then you're going to keep thinking about it. And that's the same with these thoughts. It's the same with these emotions. So you want to just allow them to be and to redirect your focus onto something else, which is incredibly difficult to do when you have chronic anxiety. But if you do this day by day and you're patient, you can see steady improvement. And that's the encouragement. That's what happened to me over a period of months. And if you improve even 1% a day, that's almost 100% in 3 months, just over 3 months. So the little bits do add up. You only really have two options with anxiety, and one is to resist against it and try to stop it and just try to push against it and say, no, I can't have this, I don't want this. That's just going to add fuel to the fire, because what you resist persists, and where your attention goes, that's where your energy is going to go, and you're just going to strengthen it. You actually have to, no matter how difficult and counterintuitive it is, just allow it to be. Because once you allow it to be, it'll be, at first, it'll just be so challenging, confronting, overwhelming. But once you do this, and you trust the science behind this, and you know that others have done this, you will see results in time. But you have to keep persisting with it. Don't think that nothing's happening. Don't think that it's not working, because it is. If you allow it to be, then all of a sudden those thoughts and emotions lose their power over you. That's what happened to me, I can tell you. And now I can think of the same thoughts, and they just do not have that emotional attachment that they did before. I'll be doing something else and I might think, oh wow, I thought of that thought. And it's just another thought. So you want to just allow those emotions to be, and when that happens, over time, you'll become more and more accustomed to them, and they won't bother you like they did before. Your brain, you're basically telling your brain, this isn't a big deal, even if it feels like it. And over time, your brain will listen, I can promise you. What I will say also is, start to do more of what you love and what you enjoy. And ask yourself, if you didn't have this anxiety, what would you actually want to be doing? And start to move towards doing that. Even in small steps. For me, it might have been, okay, I know that I'm going to want to work on this channel at some point. So I'm going to start making notes of my experience and different tips and different things that I learned. And even if you do that for 15 minutes a day of what you want to do, or half an hour a day, just start small steps. You're going to start to feed your mind with things that you want to do. And all of a sudden, that whole negative cycle of your life is trying to overcome anxiety will start to shift in the opposite direction, and your mind will start to feed on the things that are actually getting you excited and you're wanting to do. What I'd suggest you do is that you research this further and look into these techniques. There's so much stuff out there on the internet. When you're going through anxiety, you don't want to spend your whole day focusing on doing that stuff, but it is handy to know how to have the right tools to use so that you can actually start moving forward. What I can recommend also is a book. I read this book when I was at my worst. So it's called Mindfulness, A Practical Guide to Finding Peace in a Frantic World by Mark Williams and Danny Penman. And this is just such an easy book to read, big writing, it's not too long, but it really lays out some practical exercises also. So you can look up those two authors online too. They have videos where they discuss some of this stuff also. I would definitely recommend doing that. It helped me tremendously when I was at my worst, and it was one of the things that really helped get me out of that cycle of negativity. And I want to make a distinction between chronic debilitating anxiety, which is severe, as opposed to mild anxiety. We all experience some degree of anxiety, and we're never going to get rid of that completely as humans. That's just the way that our mind works. But the place we want to be at is where the anxiety doesn't control our lives anymore. It doesn't stop us doing the things that we want to do. And if you follow the steps in this video and go into some more detail and look at some articles online, and even buy this book if you like, it's going to give you the tools that you need to help you move forward, one little step at a time. And encourage yourself as you're making each step, because this is a very serious journey. This is a very real and very challenging thing that you're experiencing right now if you are going through chronic anxiety. But there is hope, and if you start today, you can get to a place that you can't imagine right now. The other thing as well is that these mental techniques aren't the only things in overcoming anxiety. There are going to be a number of holistic approaches, such as good nutrition with your food, exercise, spiritual side of things as well. So this mental aspect is just one side of things, but you want to look into all of those components if you're going to really move forward and develop the type of mindset and the life that you want to live. So take care, friends, and we'll talk to you in the next video.